Good morning and welcome to Take 2 of Tech Tuesday this week, brought to you by Delta Media Group, where we do it live. So, as I said in the previous video, for anybody that was watching, we're going to go over the sold listing system today. And as you can see, we have up here in the corner, we have the DeltaNet now. So it turns out we had to restart some things. Every now and then, just got to turn it off and back on again. That's just the way it goes. So, let's go into the DeltaNet and see how to set these things up. So the first thing you can do is, in addition to having a sold listings that are searchable if we have the data for it, just searchable through the regular search system on the website. And by that I mean just the regular search results pages, like you go to the quick search, you run a search, and then you say, show me listings that are sold. In addition to doing that, you can create a page on your site that just displays your own sold listings. So to do that, I'm going to go to Website and down to Pages. And we're going to pick a new page. This is one of our predefined pages, so I'm going to say predefined. And from our page links, we're going to go down here. Now you see, because I'm on the demo site, there's 2 for every one of these. Yours will only have 1 of each entry. But we'll go down here to sold listings, select that. We can give this page a keyword, and what this allows you to do is, if you have sold listings of multiple types or in multiple areas that you wanted to group onto separate sold listings pages, you could do that. Like if you had sold listings on a lake, I could type lake here, and then every sold listing I add into the system that I put the keyword lake on will appear on this page. And if it doesn't have the keyword lake on it, it won't show up on this page. So the idea there would be is I could have a sold listings page that shows just my sold lake listings, and another sold listings page that shows all of my sold listings, something like that. So that is what keyword is for. For now, I'll leave that blank. If I only want to show sold listings within a certain price range on this page, I've got fields that allow me to do that. If we're getting these sold listings from the MLS and I don't want to include the MLS comments, or in this case, the other way around, if I do want to show the MLS comments on those, I can check this box and it'll show the MLS comments. If I don't check it, I can still put in my own custom comments. Then down here I have this WYSIWYG editor where I can put content in that'll show up at the top of my sold listings page. And then link title is what a customer will click on to get to this page for my navigation, and it's also how this page will be labeled in my list over here. So I'll just call it My Sold Listings. Feeling very creative this morning. There we go. I'm going to want to add this to the navigation menu, but I could also add it to bottom links if I want to, so I'll go ahead and check both. That'll make it show up in the navigation menu up at the top of my page, and then also in the bottom links all the way in the footer. I'll give it a page title. So for now, I'll just make it My Sold Listings, but know that when you put in a page title, search engines will pick that up also. So it's a good idea to put your name in there, the brokerage, the area, things like that that a search engine will pick up. And then description. These are my sold listings. Meta description is meant to be just exactly what it sounds like, just a readable description of the page. And it's another thing that search engines will pick up. And then keywords are those keywords or phrases separated by commas. It's not really used much anymore by search engines, but it's still a good idea to put them in. So sold listings, can put my area in there, and just things that describe the page, keywords about the page. So once I have that all set up, I'm going to click Update Page. And now, if I scroll down here to my navigation menus, you can see at the bottom, we now have a My Sold Listings page. So I'm going to want to put this under Sellers up here, and we'll make it the first item in the drop-down menu under Sellers. So I'll just drag it up there and have it indented 1, and then when I have it where I want it, I'll click Save, and now our page should be in place. So I'm going to preview website here, and let's see if our link's there. I was thinking pretty hard about this, actually. It's everybody's really putting the effort in this morning. There we go. All right, so if I go to Sellers, we can now see My Sold Listings is the first link there. If I click on it, it takes me to my Sold Listings page. Now you can see we already have a couple of listings on this page, and that's because on this account, I've already added in some sold listings. And yours may be like that also. When you set up a page like this, the system could have been automatically pulling in your sold listings as long as it was set to do so. That's actually a company level setting. But if it was set to pull in your listings, it could have automatically populated some. So you would see some listings already here. It should pick them up whether you're the buyer or whether you represented the buyer or the seller. Yet again, as long as we're getting the data for that. And every company and every MLS is a little bit different there. But regardless of whether we're getting the data, we can go in and enter these sold listings manually. So to do that, I'm going to scroll down here and click on Listings, and then Sold Listings. And you can see these are the two listings that show up on that page already. You can see the source on these were both manual because I entered these in manually. They would say automatic if we had picked those up from the feed and put them in and attached them to you automatically. I can click on what would actually be the MLS number for these listings if they would have been pulled in. But they're just these demo strings that I set up in here. But this is basically what it's using as the MLS ID. That takes me to the detail page for this sold listing where I can go in here and I can make some changes to sold price. So the original price is what I originally put in when I added it. But sold price, we can add in here, and you can modify that depending on what the sold price was. You can add a sold date. Status lets you put pending listings in here also if you wanted to put those in addition to solds. You can say whether you represented the buyer or the seller. You can add a tagline that'll show up on your sold listings page in here. Just kind of a brief descriptor there. And you can also see the original comments from the MLS and put in your own custom comments if you want. If you make any changes there, you just click Update Listing and that saves them, or you can go in here and you can modify the photo. And it just shows one photo on sold listings, which is usually all you need. And we can put a little caption on the photo if we want. If I wanted to change it, I would just click on Choose File and then go and pick file on my computer and upload it, and that would make that the new photo for this sold listing. Now the other thing I can do in this sold listings page is if the listing hadn't been, if it didn't come in automatically and I want to add one in, I'll just go in here and type in an MLS number and click Find Listing. Now you can see it found some listings with the matching MLS number. So if I wanted to add these, I would just select the listing that I want. You can see it found multiple that matched that particular number. But I would fill in the information over here, sold price, status, tagline, comments if I want to, and make sure the box next to it is checked because that's how it knows to add it, and then go to the bottom and hit Add Selected Sold Listings, and that'll add them in. Now the new feature we just added to this system is if we don't have data for a listing in our system. Now this will happen with really old stuff. Say we're only getting sold listings data from the MLS for the last 3 years, for example. If you've got a listing that's say 5 years old that was never added to the system and you want to go in and add it manually now, you can do that. So if I go in under MLS ID and I type in something ridiculous that hopefully doesn't find a listing and click Find Listing, there we go. So you can see listing doesn't exist in the system. It was either never entered into the MLS or sold more than 3 years ago. If so, click here to manually add it. So I'll click here. It takes me to this page where I can put in my MLS number. I can give my listing an address. 90210 is the only zip code I know off the top of my head that's not a local one here. So it's just, it's what I always use. And you can see from the zip code it filled in the other information automatically, picked up the state automatically. Now we'll give it a category, so it's residential, single family. I could even select multiple categories here if I wanted to. You just hold down the Control key or the Command key on a Mac and click and you can select multiples. We'll give this a list price and a sold price. And we'll decide what day it's sold here. Sold in the future. That seems implausible. There we go. Sold last month. Let's do that. Status sold. We'll say I represented the buyer and the seller on this one, but you can pick and choose there. We'll go with the old tried and true, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and 1 partial bath. Say it's on 3 acres, 2,000 square feet, built in 1982. And we've got that same tagline field here, that keywords field, which again, the keywords field is used by the sold listing system to decide which sold listings page to put them on. Since my sold listings page has no keywords on it, it'll show all listings with no keywords on them. And comments, again, that would just be like the MLS comments. And now for a photo, we'll go ahead